Set. 4, 3, 1.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sunday Morning Quarterback. Today, we are four pastors who love ministry, leadership, sports, and lately fishing because Adam just came off the pond. Adam, what'd you catch today?
So me and a buddy from church, we went out to the Monkey River and went catfishing, and both of us got 4 or 5 catfish. And we went out there at 7 a.m. and I literally just walked in. So I'm here. It's a great day.
Making disciples one fish at a time. John, how's it going down there in Virginia?
Not on the water. Currently trying to put some work back together and trying to hold down the fort here.
Man, Dad, Nashville?
All is good here. Blue skies, nice and sunny, kind of hot. That summer's on its way for sure.
Nice. Well, hey, let's jump into it. Summer is on the heels, but man, we got some awesome NBA basketball, which we're going to talk on the front end. And then on the back end, if you're listening for our ministry and leadership segment, we're going to talk about pastors and people in ministry and the importance of having hobbies. But man, last night, guys, I got to be honest, it was a long church day. What I do on church days is I try not to look at my phone. And in our group chat, Adam sent a text, and I saw Denver, and I thought, oh, man, Denver won. So I got my TiVo. I started scrolling through. They were down. They were up 20, and then next thing you know, it went 10, and then I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And all of a sudden, Minnesota, John, flipped the narrative and won. What was your takeaway from the game and over all the series? Because you picked Denver, I think.
I did pick Denver, and what happened was Jamal Murray disappeared.
Yep.
He disappeared, and after the third quarter, he was like, I guess I'm just going to coast here. And they kept dishing it down to Jokic to make a play, and he just stopped taking shots or pulled up from the three, stopped being aggressive, stopped driving to the hoop. That's why they lost the game.
Adam, did they run out of gas? What was your take?
Yeah, I think that's what happened. And but it was a great series. When the series started, I think most people knew it was going 7. And I remember saying to probably you guys, this to me is like the 2 best teams right now. It's almost like the finals. But yeah, I think Denver's depth, people knew going in, and then the length of Minnesota, especially their bigs. And then Jamal Murray, he doesn't really have a true backup point guard. And he's out there doing a lot. He's won them a lot of games. So I don't really fault anybody, but I think if I had to pin it on one thing, it would be depth. And yeah, they just got tired. Joker got tired.
Yep.
He was like 0 for 7 to start the game from 3.
Yep. There was a few things. I was calling my dad last night, and I didn't watch the whole first half, but if you look at the box score, it was like Joker 34, Murray 31, and then it was like the other guys, man, the others had played well most of the series, and they just didn't show up. You got Aaron Gordon, who put up 4 points. KCP didn't play well. Michael Porter Jr. has been up and down, and he had hit 1 3. And so if you have the rest of the team scoring 24 points, that's not going to work. And so I think Joker ran out of gas. John, I agree, though. It seemed like in the big moments, Jamal Murray didn't want any of Ant Edwards. And then in the press game, he was like, I put him in handcuffs. And so they were talking a lot of junk. And I think they just ran out of gas, ran out of mental gas. And somebody tweeted something. They were like, basically, hey, when teams try to repeat, that's what happens. You just run out of steam. And so I agree. Dad, what was your perspective?
I thought it was an interesting series, to go to Denver, win the first 2, then to lose the next 3, and then to win the next 2 after all that. I just saw a lot of attitude. I agree with what the guys say about Denver, but on the flip side, Minnesota, they have a swagger that they're moving around with right now. And I think it starts with Ant. He's got some guys, some dogs that are following him, that's following his lead. And so they really believe. I like their coach as well. And so they've got a good chemistry. So they got attitude, they have chemistry, they have a good, thorough coach. And I think that they believed. And so that second half, they knew, hey, look, we're gonna give it all that we have. We're gonna play defense first. And the shots started falling, and then momentum carried, and it took the day.
Yeah, one thing that was interesting too, I think most young teams would have wilted after, losing 2-3 in a row. And so that kind of helped them build some moxie. But one thing helps too is, man, they're so deep. Nas Reed coming in, he can get a shot whenever he wants. And he's just real long. Shout out to Shay's cousin, Nikhil Gilgis Alexander. Taught him in Hamilton Heights. He was locked down D. He's got to work on his 3-ball a little bit. But he's kind of the glue guy. And man, Mike Conley, which kudos to him because he was in Memphis for all those years. Never really got his flowers in the CP3 era, but man, he's just been great and he hit some big shots. But in those big moments, man, Ant rise to the occasion, and I actually like it because Durant and a lot of these guys, they have kind of soft personalities. They don't really let that kind of show. Man, he's a dog. He's chirping at people. Sometimes might step over the line, talking trash, and has a good balance. But another guy that we got to give kudos to is Karl Towns, man. He got criticized in the early days with Wiggins, and they were soft, and so he showed some tenacity, and he's had a few bad games, but he came back, and there was a point in that third and fourth quarter where Ant was on the bench, and I mean he kept on pushing. So shout out to Karl Towns and them taking that next step. So Adam, why don't you start us off with the preview? And this is going to be a great series in the conference finals. We'll talk about the East in a second, but you got Kyrie and Ant. Ant already called Kyrie out. He said, I'm going to be guarding him. And then you've got Luka. So 2 out of the 3, top young guns in the league. I know you think Luka's injuries might hold him back a little bit.
Yeah, well, let me just say this. If Anthony Edwards is serious, and I think he is, and the coaches allow those 2 players to be one-on-one a lot, boy, that's going to be fun because I think, I'm on the whole Anthony Edwards bandwagon with everything I'm hearing most people are, but I'm also one of those guys that I think Kyrie Irving is the best ball handler in the history of the NBA. And so with that said, and the fact that Anthony Edwards is prone to play defense, he doesn't mind doing that. That's going to be fun. But I think Minnesota's length again is going to win the day. It's not that Dallas doesn't have anybody, but no one near as skilled as Minnesota's big 3. They're 3 big guys. And yeah, Luka's injured. So I just, these past few series, he's not had those 40-point outbursts or strung together a handful of 35, 40-point games. So I think Minnesota will win this fairly easily. I'm tempted to say in 5, but I'm going to go with 6.
Wow. Hey, John, the first tester episode, the first topic was Jason Tatum or Luka. And so Adam has been not on the Luka train from the jump. What do you think?
I think I'm going to put it out there. I think Minnesota is going to pull it together. But Luka's also hobbled. He's not playing as well as he has been. He's chatting with the refs. He's got some stuff going on. I think Kyrie's playing as good as he's played, honestly, since playing with LeBron. I mean, I think he plays well. I don't know if I would go wholesale that he's the best ball handler. He's definitely gifted for sure.
Who's better than Kyrie?
I think Steph's got better handles than Kyrie.
No.
I do.
No.
I think with both hands. I think Kyrie typically goes to the right almost 75% of the time.
All right, we'll save that.
I think somebody who's really good goes both sides of the goal.
I'll give Kyrie, he's probably the best finisher. That's my favorite. I mean, he's got great handles, but man, when he gets and I saw them live one time. I got a guy in ministry's like, hey, here's 2 tickets to the Cavs. I was like, sweet, I'll take him as a Kevin Love era. And I just watched him in pregame. He'd flip the ball up and just practice all that. So that's, I think, where he separates himself. But I tell you what, I think y'all got to put some respect on Luka's name now. He still had a few games where he's got equal amount of dog in him that Ant Edwards has. And I'm not saying he's egging on his injuries, but I think he's just going to come out roaring. I think Minnesota's going to win. My gut tells me 6, but I wouldn't be shocked if it went 7. Luka's going to have at least 2 to 3 hero games. And Dallas's defense is good too. So you might see some kind of lockdown, 85 to 90-ish, which actually would help Luka slowing it down, slowing the pace down. So they got too much offensive firepower. It reminds me of LeBron and Kyrie when they went against the Warriors. Luka and Kyrie are good enough to win at least 2 games on their own. Dad, what do you think?
I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think it's going to boil down. And by the way, Luka, you're right. He's got a lot of nagging injuries, but 3 straight triple doubles. So It's a different type of team this year. So
Yep.
he doesn't have to go 45, 50 points all the time. So I think he's on purpose trying to get his team going. I think it's going to boil down to Kyrie. If Kyrie can, because Kyrie will have a good half, and then he'll be gone for 2 games, and then have a good quarter here, quarter there. But if he can play like the old Kyrie, I think they got a shot of winning. I'm not quite picking them, but I think it could go 6 and maybe 7. They have a lot of similar styles. They're both tough. They're rugged. They both got some good stars. And so I'm going Minnesota 7. I'm going Minnesota 7. But the cool thing is going to see some new blood, some new stars. And I think from this matchup, both these guys know what's at stake, and it's more than just going to the finals, but it's bragging rights to be that next guy.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot on the table in this series.
And kudos to Kyrie, because I feel like he's been spotty, like picking his spots. I feel like he's got a lot of maturity. He's trying to lock up on D now. He don't always have to be the leading scorer. So kudos to him there. So okay, let's kind of fast forward a little bit. Maybe we're all wrong on this, but I imagine we're all thinking that Celtics are going to beat the Pacers handily. So here's the real question: who right now today, Adam? Who do you think's the prohibitive favorite to win the NBA Finals? Do you think it's Minnesota?
As of today, I do. Again, I think this is the 3rd time I've said this, because of Minnesota's big 3 men. The Celtics have Porzingis, who is not your prototypical down low in the post banging with the other guys, big. And then Horford, he's good. And I know we've been saying this for it feels like 10 years, but he's old.
Oh,
he
yeah.
can't be out there that much. And Minnesota has, 3 of these guys. Yeah, you know what? I'm just looking at this like all this Michael Jordan stuff with Anthony Edwards. If he just kind of burst on the scene and immediately wins a ring like that, my goodness, it's going to be his league and, maybe Giannis and Luka for the next foreseeable future.
John, you've been on Team Celtics. Are you feeling alarmed? I know they had a few flat games there. Do you trust them?
I do. I think right now, I think Minnesota could beat them, but I think Porzingis coming back stretches the court quite a bit. Al Horford is an old man, but we've also seen Al get ticked off and all of a sudden go off. And he's average right now 10 points, 5 rebounds, a block a game,
Yep.
half steal game. He's not playing as a 37-year-old. He's definitely not playing like LeBron James at the age either. But I think he'll do enough against somebody like Cat. And I think if I'm there, I want Rudy to be pulled out of the lane to create some space. I think Porzingis gives that opportunity because you got to respect some outside game. So I make some shifts there. I think they got a good shot at beating them. I think it'll go till 7 because I think it'll wear. But I don't think anybody's concerned about the Pacers. But there again, nobody's been concerned about them the entire playoffs, and here they are.
Yep.
Right in this game,
I could see him making it a 6-game
in.
series. Yeah, I could see him making it more of a series than people expect, just because Porzingis is still out. He'll be out the first 2. Dad, what do you think?
I actually think Indiana's going to play fairly well. Indiana's got a tremendous offense. Boston's got a great offense, but they're scarce sometimes. So you just never know. I suspect they'll win it in 6. I think it'll be hard fought. I think it's going to be a fun series to watch, a lot of up and down points. Going back to the other side, at this point, I do see Minnesota winning. I think Nas is the big guy that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so he's that cherry on top that just will bring them home. So they've got dudes everywhere. Their point guard is a skilled, crafty veteran, but I think it's essential. You got the young gun at the shooting guard. You got the big guys, in the middle. You got some great perimeter threes. They got a whole team. They got a lot of momentum and they got a lot of attitude right now. And so it's going to take a heavy weight. It's going to take somebody just bringing their A game for a whole series. And I don't know if Boston can do that. I don't know if they can go toe to toe with a team that's got that much size, skill, and attitude.
You know what I just thought of when you were going through Minnesota's roster? Their GM, I think, was also the GM that put together Denver's roster, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just made me think of that. Isn't that incredible what,
Yep.
just a smart guy in the front office does for
Mhm.
these, kind of no-name organizations compared
Yep.
to some of the others?
We got to get that dude to Charlotte, whatever it
Yeah.
takes, whatever it costs. Get that man to Charlotte. It's been too long.
He would be the
Oh
GOAT
man.
GM for sure if he resurrected Charlotte somehow.
Oh
Absolutely.
man.
See, I think one thing it's just been very apparent. I feel like there was so much talk about the Big Three era, and I just feel like this brand of basketball, before it was like Big Three era and then Warriors, where this brand of basketball, they all move it, they all pass it, they all play defense.
It's going back
And
to the San
Yeah.
Antonio dates.
Yep, and I actually am going to be more intrigued going into the regular season next year because I kind of got fatigued on the Durant, LeBron, this one, Harden. They're bouncing around where these guys seem more loyal. But let's just talk about Ant for a second. I think the thing he does most like Michael is when he attacks. He attacks the rim hard, man. And he's got a little bit more sauce on the perimeter. And man, when he wants to turn the corner and you don't know it, he's got that little hezzy pull up three. He's got a little Tracy McGrady in there. He's got a little Kobe in there. He's kind of got that lean in jumper. But man, he's got some sauce to him, and he is lightning on that perimeter. And they couldn't stay in front of him, man. He was just getting to the rim at will. So,
Yeah,
it'll be.
who he reminds me of even more than Jordan is a Wade that's a much better
Ooh.
shooter.
Oh yeah,
They're really Jordan's a little bit bigger than he is. Wade's about the same height, attacked. I think Ant's got a little bit better handles, and he's definitely a better shooter.
yeah.
And so
Far, yeah.
that's gonna be
Little
fun
bit
to
of
watch.
Wade, little Grant Hill. It just tacks the rim hard. So, anyway, good times, good times. Well, hey, we'll keep talking over the playoffs next few weeks. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about. Maybe we'll do an episode in the while we're in the finals, while we're at the SBC. But let's segue to our ministry and leadership segment, and John is going to take the reins from here to start our topic off.
Sure. Yeah, we've been talking, joking around about Joseph and Adam fishing pretty regular. Hopefully after work most days. But as we were thinking about it, though, having these opportunities to not only, I think obviously Adam went out today and did some fishing, but I think what was really helpful is brought somebody a part of his church out there, and so these hobbies that I think pastors need as an outlet to kind of redirect some of their attention. And in our ministries, we can get so consumed with what's going on and this person need, that person need. It's really hard to unplug. And I found in our time that finding good hobbies to unplug, even for just an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 7 o'clock till now, whatever that looks like for you, is a chance to be able to enjoy God's creation, enjoy some leisure, but also a segue in bringing people into those hobbies and sharing something you love with other people. So I just thought it'd be helpful for us to discuss what are some of the hobbies that God's really kind of brought to you, and how do you feel in those hobbies that you're seeing opportunities to decompress from ministry, but also involve others into that hobby as a way to connect. Anybody, I guess, can jump in here.
I guess I'll jump in since I'm the one that was catfishing today.
And got that sunburn.
Yeah, I got a little burn, but it's good. It's a good burn. Uh, yeah, I think what John said was perfect. One thing, I don't know if I've texted this to you all, but I've been teaching on heaven for the last 7 or 8 months on Wednesday nights at our church, which has been very unique for me. I grew a lot in my understanding and things I didn't know, and many of our people did as well. But the big takeaway from most of our study is the new heaven and the new earth. And I probably spent 50% of the time talking about creation and recreation. And during this same time period, I take up fishing, and it's just become a source of being able to be out, like you've said, John, unwind. Some of these spots I go, my phone literally has no signal, which may be the best thing for my soul at times, and there's different reasons. It's layered, but one thing's for sure, we're commanded to rest, but we need to also balance that with a deep zeal for the things of God. You never want to, slip into laziness or being distracted from the things that matter. But, you've got to kind of know yourself and know how you pace your schedule well. to be able to really enjoy when you have time to unwind. Because one thing that I've done before is I'll set time aside to unwind, but I don't actually unwind. I don't actually rest well, so to speak. And so we could talk about the Sabbath, but we might be here the rest of the day and have the longest episode ever. But I think that is an element too for preachers. You know, our schedules are so varied and complex and changing from week to week. That goes back to what I said. You've got to know how to manage your time well if you are going to be able to rest well and enjoy hobbies and things like that.
I think for me, and I know about each of you guys, I think that the problem we fall into is our hobby is our job or our calling. You know, like even when I'm not at church, I just enjoy listening to a podcast, or I know y'all enjoy reading a book, and so that's something that like I'm always on, or my wife will make fun. My wife loves ministry, but she'll laugh. She'll come to our family dinners and she'll be like, "Oh, we talk about his church all the time. It's already our life. Can we talk about something else?" And so
it's not a button. It's not a button we can turn off
Yeah.
because beyond it being people work, I mean, it's soul work. It's
Yeah.
spiritual work.
Yep.
You know, none of us would ever I don't even want to say this on a podcast, but we do eternal work. And
Yeah.
this stuff matters, and you can't press a button and say, I'm off the clock.
Yep. No, I agree. But it's funny though that you mentioned Sabbath, Adam. Even though I've just gotten my own rhythm where Fridays is my off day, and I really, really, really try hard not to. So I want to hear my dad's hobbies in a minute because his are way different than all of y'all's. And one that I picked up is like house cleaning on Friday because my brain goes so hard during the week, and I enjoy it. But man, and this is just me, if I try to think about work on a sermon on a Friday, John, I know you do, I don't know how you do it, or try to read, or even like I'll listen to a very like general podcast that's more, I need a veg day. And so fishing has come in there lately. I was finding that I was just in front of screens too much. I needed some unplug, like put my phone down. And so Adam got on fishing lately, and then I moved with a pond behind my house, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll get a $10 fishing pole. And then, Adam, I caught that first bass, and there ain't no feeling like it. You want to call it a high or a rush, and I just got it bad. And so Adam's inspired me, and I fished every day for 2 weeks. But I'm able to take my daughter out there. We're able to talk. She's not in front of screens, and now it's like I'm itching to get home and like, okay, when can I slip a time in? But for me, I feel like I'm fresher when I'm, at the church or et cetera. And another hobby that we've talked about and he and I have done a little bit is pickleball. You got a lot of people doing that right now. A lot of people in our church. So that's one that I can also be more active in. And I find when I'm engaging in my hobbies, I need some veg time, some downtime. I'm fresher. But Dad, I want to hear your take on this because I know you and I know some of your hobbies, and it'll sound very different than what people might imagine.
Well, that's funny because I don't even know what my hobbies are, to be honest with you. This is my hobby, to be honest with you. I like watching sports. And the cool thing that makes it fun is that Pam likes it too. So I have a wife that has endeared herself to sports and is now not just a great football fan, but she's the one telling me, hey, the schedule's coming out. Let's pick some games we want to go to. So we've already picked the games out. We've already bought our tickets.
I think we all need to take a moment and acknowledge the four of us. God has blessed the four of us with wives that actually love sports.
Yeah. Yes.
Proceed, Joe.
I was going to say that's a whole nother level of marital discipleship. I don't know that I'll ever get to.
Well, now, we're watching the NBA finals and the playoffs. And so she's like, man, we got 2 Game 7. So, so part of my hobbies is just the outlet that has always been there from when I was just a kid. And, now I have a wife and a son and guys to share it with. And then one of the other hobbies is, I don't know if you call it a hobby, but, we like to go out to dinner all the time. So we are constantly, and it's different. My life is different than you guys. It's just Pam and I. And so,
and you live in Nashville, and you got 5-star restaurants everywhere.
Oh yeah, well, it's just 2 of us. By the time you buy groceries, it's just easier to go out. And so we usually go out with somebody every Sunday. Most pastors do, but for us, we take out a new couple. And so we try to take out new couples all the time. And then, we go to a lot of small groups. So, and we go, I think we lead one, but then we just go as just regular folks. So we come in and they treat us just like anybody else. And I'm not leading it. And there's something great to be able to go to a ministry function where you're not leading it. You're just going and enjoying it and adding a little bit and taking in a lot. And so we like to go do that. So, we'll walk the malls. And so, a lot of my hobbies is with Pam. And so we just like to enjoy time together. But, at the same time, I don't really take days off, but if I don't have anything going on, where in the past I would make something happen. Now, if I have a day off, then I don't make it happen anymore. Something seems to always, there's always something, but I don't make my day full if it's not, because there are plenty other days where it's full. But, for us, there is no on, like Adam said, there's no on and off switch. It's who we are. It's what we care about. And the cool thing about all of us talking about this is there's a love affair with God and his ministry and the calling upon our life. So when there's a love affair there, and that's what you're passionate about, it makes it a lot easier to where it's not, I got to cut it off, this particular, I've known people that say, hey, 5 o'clock, don't call me, and, whatever they want to do, they can. But for me, I just can't do it. I just feel more free when I know things are rolling and, I can see things, talk to people. And then by the end of the week, everything seems to be moving in a good direction. And then I can relax Saturday, but, we still stop at the church but it's who we are. So
they go and print off bulletins as like a Saturday hobby. I'm like, no, I'll go to the church late. Gosh. Okay, Dad, I got a question, and I don't want you to get spiritual about it. I just like you being your normal Joe self for a second. So I'm not looking for okay. So here's the difference between him, Adam, and me and you, or John. John used to play disc golf a lot back in the day. He enjoys bowling, playing basketball, fishing, softball, all those things. But me and Adam, for instance, and this isn't better, I'll go do it by myself. Where you're like, you'll do it if you're with me, but if you're not with me, like, I ain't going to do it. Is that just how you're wiring your makeup? I've never asked you that question before.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just more of an easygoing type of guy. So if people want to go do this, then we'll go do it. If they want to go do that, I could never think about bowling, and then you come by and like, hey, let's go bowl. I'm like, cool, let's go. So just my personality.
Yeah, and it's your generation too, because our generations are very consumer, like as far as our technology and because of Adam, I've been watching videos all day about spinnerbait and chatterbait and what days to throw them and how to reel them in but that's how our generations consume stuff.
Hey, but let me tell you, let me give you this though. One of the reasons I don't play basketball is because I got old.
Yeah,
that changes things.
Hey,
because basketball used to be a passion and a hobby, but you moved out, and then I got old, and I'm like, oh well.
And then he started going out to eat all the time in Nashville.
And then you got John, who doesn't go to sleep without reading 50 pages. But anyway, John, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy reading. It's one of my outlets. It's a way to slow my brain down. And so I do that. I like to work out as well. It's one of my hobbies. Both of those hobbies are not things you do with people, obviously. So those aren't things that I include other people in on most of the time. Sometimes I'll take my daughters up to the coffee shop and we'll read. One of them will read a few books, and then they'll watch some Disney movie or something while I'm reading. And so we're still together, but she's not going to read for 3 or 4 hours. It's not in her ability at age 7. But we're working on it. But yeah, working out's another thing. And then I think some of the more recent, things, just going to the movies with a group of guys, going out, play some disc golf, trying to get together, go out and have a meal. And what I've realized is, I think one of the growing hobbies, or one of the things in coming into the role that I'm in now, it's the first 3 years, I spent a good amount of time just kind of investing and pouring out. And I definitely pushed some of those hobbies to the back of the room for a little bit. There were some things that need to be sorted. But now things are starting to really settle in, starting to make some good rhythmic movements for our family and other stuff. And so now I'm looking around going, what are things that are times to take time away from the work, and I love work. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy sermon prep. I enjoy meeting with people, calling, talking on the phone, studying, writing, all those things. So that's a hobby in and of itself. If I were to quit tomorrow, I'd still do those things. But at the same time, I think the opportunity that hobbies present is to share something you love. And then all of a sudden it creates common dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And that common dialogue provides opportunities for you and I to drop in spiritual truths or questions that really create some vulnerability over a shared interest. And so I think that's some of the beauty of the hobbies. It's not just, this is good for me, but this is good for us. This is good for our families. This is good for our churches. And looking for ways to share what you love is essentially what I'm doing every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Is just sharing what I love, and God and his word, and the people that are before me. And so I think it all comes together, and I think it works really well.
I agree. Hey, two things I didn't say. I don't know if y'all are grillers, but man, I got me a smoker. That's a fun one. I got a Blackstone. That's pretty fun. I've started to try to, especially now that it's getting warm, make some more meats. But I'm telling you, John and Adam, you need to go get you a pickleball net. I promise you got a guy in your church that does it. Go find a tennis court. It's fun, ain't it, Dad? It's
isn't that old man game? Like
no, dude, it's like the fastest
That's
growing.
why I like it so much.
Hey, it's the fastest growing sport in America, and I kept hearing about it. But I love ping pong. I play ping pong for hours, and it's like a combo of ping pong and an easier version of tennis. And so they're putting pickleball courts up here, and but John, it's cool because you can do doubles. And you can get a ping pong or a pickleball paddle at Walmart for $12. I'm telling you, go one time, go watch a YouTube video on it, and you'll be hooked. So have your hobbies and practice them, especially with your kids and your wife. And if you really need one, just go get a fishing pole from Walmart for $10. So anyway, we will continue our NBA playoff stuff. Now it's a competition of who can catch a bigger fish. Adam's been trying to beat me after the past week. But anyway, y'all have a great day.